good morning. I think we're going to start with hail guests. Thank you. There's going to be lots of beautiful music this morning. And on behalf of Sara's family, thank you for being here as we celebrate and remember a truly remarkable woman. We gather today with a bit of sadness because someone we loved is no longer physically present with us. But we also gather with profound gratitude. Gratitude for a life extraordinarily well lived. Gratitude for a woman who touched countless lives. Gratitude for a person whose influence continues to ripple through the church, this community, and the many families she helped along the way. I suspect many of us have had the experience of meeting someone who quietly changes the course of our lives. Not through fame or power, not by drawing attention to themselves, but simply through the goodness of their character. For many of us, Sara was one of those people. For more than 55 years, she was an important part of the life of the Guilford Community Church. She joined as Sally Pilliard, but really made her mark as Sara Allen. Not because she sought recognition, not because she sought the spotlight. In fact, quite the opposite. One of the remarkable things about her was that it was never about her. It was always about other people, always about encouraging someone who was struggling, about welcoming someone new, about seeing possibilities where others saw limitations. It was about making a difference in quiet ways that often went unnoticed. Sara had a faith that anchored her life, but it was never preachy or dogmatic, never judgmental. Rather, it was a faith expressed through kindness, compassion, curiosity, and grace. Her obituary describes her as big-hearted, open-minded, and endlessly curious. Those words ring true to anyone who knew her. Even in her final days, her capacity for grace and trust and love remained a blessing to her family and all who visited her. Her gentle spirit remained with her until she took her final breath, surrounded by her family. She had a remarkable ability to see good in people, to see potential, sometimes before people recognized it in themselves. And she believed in people. People often became better because of her. When I first came to Guilford 24 and a half years ago, I was homeless. Sara and Gary opened their house to me, but more than their house, they opened their heart, and that's who they were. Hospitable, generous, thoughtful. They made every newcomer feel welcome. And over the years, I came to understand they had extended that same care and generosity to so many others. She helped establish the first daycare center in New Hampshire in 1967, a program that would eventually become Lakes Region Child Care Services. She earned a master's degree. She became a counselor, served families, served children. She got a second chance at love with Gary, and they shared years of square dancing, singing in the choir, skiing, and traveling together. She was a woman who lived fully, loved deeply, and made the world a better place by simply being there. But if you ask Sara what mattered most to her, I don't think she'd start with a list of accomplishments. I think she would begin with her family, because Sara was first and foremost a mother. She was deeply proud of her children. She understood that the great measure of life is not in what we accumulate, but what we give away. And Sara spent her life. She gave away encouragement, gave away kindness, hope, confidence, and always love. And because of that, her influence extends far beyond the 95 years she lived. So today we gather to mourn her loss, but mostly to celebrate her presence, a presence that strengthened our community, a presence that enriched so many people, and for that, we will be deeply grateful forever and ever. And now please, why don't we stand as we sing hymn number 4, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore You. Please be seated and join me in a word of prayer. With our eyes open or closed, when we picture Sara, we see that beautiful smile. And we experience her joyful presence. We think, too, of her kindness and her wisdom, her curiosity, her gentle spirit, her remarkable ability to see goodness in others and call it forth. We give thanks for the children and families she helped, for the people she encouraged and inspired, for the love she shared and the comfort she offered. May the stories we share today bring a sense of peace to us. May the music we sing and listen to bring a sense of healing. May cherished memories bring smiles amid our tears. And may the legacy of Sara's life inspire us to live with a little more kindness, a little more curiosity, and a little more grace. We pray all these things in the spirit of love that sustained Sara throughout her life. And now I invite you to join with me in the Lord's Prayer, a prayer that begins, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And then you can remain seated as we sing Simple Gifts. And then two readings that meant the world to Sara. First, the prayer of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoning, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. And then the familiar words from Ecclesiastes 3. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace.
So Mom loved this song, and so much of our lives were to singing the family favorites, but also she sent us off to camp. Even though we lived in paradise, she sent us off to camp every single summer, and when we were young. And then we learned a lot about other kinds of music. So this was one of her favorites. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget
And that's just by blood. You've touched all that are here, and that's just who's here. To all touched, you've brought cheer. Of the events in your life, I know but a few, but here in a nutshell are some highlights of you. You were born in Rockford, in Illinois. By your own account, you were a tomboy, chasing after a brother named Mac. Of sisters with Tuffy, you did not feel a lack. Tuffy was her best friend, Caroline, whatever it was. You had 6 years of camp in MN, Minnesota. At 16 to Virginia and old IBM. There you went to St. Anne's School and to Farmington to swim and dive in the pool. Off to New York and Vassar to earn your degree, with some time in Geneva to learn how to ski. A top secret job in Washington, D.C., where you met a pilot in the U.S. Navy. Married to Maine, which is where you had me. Then to North Carolina, where Dad earned his MD. And Linda was born on April 11th. Then to Michigan. Mary was born the year I turned 7. We moved to New Hampshire in June 64. By 869 of kids, you had 2 more. First JJ, to which we added no. Then David, but that wasn't enough for you, so for whole bunches of children you had left to spare, and therefore you started Lakes Region Daycare. Then back to school for your master's degree while juggling the demands of your family. Finally a break, summer 72, a VW Campmobile, 5 kids, and you. Went on an adventure across the US of A. Memories of that trip are with us to this day. You cooking dinner, unloading the car, Linda setting up camp while I played guitar. Well, enough about that. You continue to grow in your work and your faith, new places you go. Cincinnati, Ohio Religious House for a year, then to Northwood Mount Hermon where you met Audrey, friend dear. Time in California, I don't know what you did there. Trips to China and Bali, and I don't know where. The details get fuzzy the older I get, but they're all still vivid to you, I will bet. Guilford Church has been a source of much comfort to you and has been the recipient of your nurture too. There, worship and baptisms, 2 daughters married, where you met a new love, your husband Gary. New adventures you've shared all over the place, and right here at home where you live days of grace. Yes, for all that you've done and you've shared far and near, and for all that you are, we all love you. Hear, hear.
She was just truly an inspiration in how she lived her big, beautiful life with an open heart and all of her generosity and support. And in October, I had a chance to sit with her at breakfast and tell her all the things that she meant to me. And I'm just so grateful for that moment that I got with her.
So today, Sarah and I are going to be singing one of our favorites from camp called In Secret. And this song, it was interesting because when this was being planned, like I instantly opportunities and the encouragement and truly just the love she provided to everybody was just, words can't even describe it. So we're gonna sing through the song.
Go for it. The song that reminds us of her support in sending us to camp.
In the secret, in the quiet place, in the stillness you are there. In the secret, in the quiet hour, I wait only for you. 'Cause I want to know you more. I want to know you. I want to hear your voice. I want to know you more. I want to touch you. I want to see your face. I want to know you more. We are reaching for the highest goal, that we might receive the prize, pressing onward, pushing every hindrance aside, out of my way. 'Cause I want to know you more. I want to know you. I want to hear your voice. I want to know you more. I want to touch you. I want to see your face. I want to know you more. I want to know you. I want to hear your voice. I want to know you more. I want to touch you. I want to see your face. I want to know you more.
There, okay. This was a poem that I wrote about Grammy. I'm not sure how many years ago, but it was quite a few years ago. And then since she passed, I revisited it and have revisited it a couple times. Oh, geez, yeah. My name's Catherine. I am one of her granddaughters. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Poem for Grammy. My grandmother is small, like an owl that nests in the ground. Her house is a robin's egg blue, a house that itself seems to nest in the side of the hill. Its insides are all oatmeal and copper and sofas with tired old feet. Lately, I've been thinking more about my grandmother, her home. Who will live in this nest? Who will watch for birds out these windows? What will be at the center of all of this life? My grandmother, whose presence was a warm hum in the background of my childhood, as constant a force as the mountains themselves, as the lake gleaming from the bottom of the hill, as the first snowfall, as the coming of spring. I remember when I was 13, newly righteous and vegetarian, and wouldn't eat the meat baking in the oven. She said, "Oh, well, that's fine. I still have a chicken burger in the freezer." But it was my loss, as there were few things sweeter than coming in from the rain to her sour cream lasagna. I know that her sight has gone fuzzy lately, her world darker, but my grandmother's porch table is still full of light, and her love is always honest. Like when she tells me, "Your silhouette is so beautiful." I try to imagine myself as she sees me, an unsteady center, but ringed with gold. It's strange. Just as her eyes start to fail, I finally begin to see her as more than grandmother. The girl who loved summer camp and singing in the choir, the young woman who fell in love with a handsome pilot, the single mother who raised my father, the minister who married my parents, the woman who alchemized her own pain into a love that stretched across communities, an acceptance so radical it left no room for bitterness or judgment. You see, my grandmother never misses a prayer, never forgets to begin first, always, with gratitude, never fails to hold each of our hands, to say grace, even if our mouths are already full, even if she's the only one who closes her eyes. Thank you.
So the 10 years that before she passed, Mom had the pleasure of sharing her home with my husband's mother, Mary Ann. And Mary Ann and Mom shared all their meals together. They shared so many quiet moments. Mary Ann was losing her hearing, and my mom was losing her sight. And I played my guitar a lot for them. There was one song in particular that Mom and Mary Ann both really loved to hear. It helped them, and I didn't realize it until the very end that this song kind of kept them going, and it gave them some hope through these declining years, and it was helpful for all of us to have this music. This is called "You Are Mine," and it's written by David Haas. I will come to you in the silence. I will lift you from all your fears. You will hear my voice. I claim you as my choice. Be still and know I am near. I am hope for all
Thank you. And are there others who would like to share a story, a memory, or a song, I suppose?
We'll be nice to the people. Thank you for coming today in memory of Sara. I'm Mike Flett. I'm married to her daughter. What was her name again, dearie? Linda. And I'm here on a mission from a friend, from a family. His name is Mike Enard. He is cousin Mike. He is half-brother to Jamie Enard, who is son of Mary, sister of Jim Hill. Mike wanted me to come and speak to the congregation about his memory of Aunt Sara, Aunt Sally at the time, and Uncle Jim. Mike's mom had passed and at a young age, when he was 7, and as a child was somewhat adrift. He was raised by Mary and Uncle Hans, and as he grew, you change when you're of youth, 13. And so his great remembrance is coming to New Hampshire to visit Aunt Sally and Uncle Jim, and they took him to the Guilford Playhouse. And the play that was on was The Wayward Stork. Now, it's kind of a play that wasn't Broadway, it was here because we used to have a great summer stock program around here. But it was much to the delight of Mike Enard that this stork misdelivered a baby to where he shouldn't have. And he had actually delivered it to a sterile man who had no idea what to do with raising a child. Anyways, Mike wanted to express the love and appreciation he got from coming here and being able to visit and being a part of Jim and Sarah's family. And so I say that for him. What's that? Oh, the flowers. Oh, yes. I would point out that Mike has sent to us the centerpiece here for the flowers and an acknowledgement to him.
Hi, I'm Will Sheets, son of Audrey Sheets, and my mom and Sara were BFFs before it was even a thing. My mother was younger than Sara and welcomed Sara to the NMH community when she came in, 1977, I believe. 77. And she said, "Welcome to NMH, I'm your older sister, I'm gonna show you around," which is kind of funny. Sara always mentioned I'm older than you. Anyways, when my mother retired, she had a really hard time transitioning to retirement, as North Vermont Herman was her entire life. But she found a place here in Guilford and did settle in within walking distance for me, but just down the hill from the beautiful house that she shared with Gary. So just wanted to say a couple words that they were best friends. Obviously they touched others' lives as well, but they made us go to Sunday school. They set up a youth program when we were needing some direction, David and I at North Vermont. So anyways, just wanted to say a couple words, and my wife Lisa and I came. Wouldn't miss this for anything. Thank you.
Thank you.
sit down with you until. Would you like this?
I'm Kathy West, son of Caroline, AKA Tuffy West, that you heard about before. Somehow at the age of 23, when I was my mother's age, when I was born, she had the divine guidance to entrust my soul to her best friend, Sara. So Sara became my godmother, and in all ways, in my entire life, she was my spiritual mother. She got me through some really rough times, and shared her beautiful family with me. And I believe that the reason that I feel comfortable walking into a house of worship of any faith is because that was who Sara was, and she instilled that in me, that I could walk into any congregation and feel the presence of God in any congregation. And Sara was part of my life from evidently my birth all the way up until the very end, and I will forever be grateful for having her and the family in my life.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Probably not very many of you recognize me, but I was here in 1945. I came to Guilford as a tiny infant with my parents, Gary and Lucille Allen, and there were a whole group of young, well-educated, vibrant adults who came to Guilford after World War II to create a new life, and they started the Guilford Outing Club, and they made the Guilford Community Church a really vibrant, ongoing organization, and they had a group of actors, the Gaslight Players, that gave performances and raised money for the Guilford Grade School that came to be known as the best in the state. So I'm here to celebrate my stepmom, Sara, and to reiterate what our minister described about her as being so open-minded and generous and welcoming of everyone. It's like she made everyone her family. And because of that, she has this enormous extended family. And she blended the families of Gary Allen and her own. And so she has not only 5 children here, but she's got 10 children. So I'm her eldest daughter, Francie. And she has even more grandchildren, and countless, probably, grandchildren, and she even has great-grandchildren. And she has a brand new one who's come from Yonkers, my grandson, Jamie, and his mom, Erica. So we're all here to celebrate that quality of hers, that loving openness that creates family everywhere. So I just wanted to tell you 2 short little stories to show you about this extraordinary blending that Sara was able to do. It was when she was Sally Pilliard, and she had newly come to Guilford with her children. And she was having a very, very hard time. And my mother, Lucille, who was the organist and choir director here for 40 years, became her closest confidant. 52. Became her closest confidant, and they became best friends. And my mother, Lucille,
really helped her through her equanimity and compassion, to get through a very tough time. And it wasn't for a few years later that Gary got to know Sally then. I don't know, I guess it was at the village store or wherever it was, but they had a really deep conversation. And Gary came home to Lucille a couple of hours later and said, "Wow, I really like Sara. She's a wonderful, amazing woman." And Mom said to Dad, "Gary, if anything ever happens to me, you go for her." It was prophetic. Yeah. And then many years later, at Mom's deathbed, at Lucille's deathbed, Sara was there sitting with her, and she was lingering on. Lucille was lingering on and lingering on and lingering on. And Sara, who knew her very well, finally figured out why. Lucille was worried that Gary wouldn't get fed if she left. And I know that because after Lucille died, I came from the West Coast for 2 months to teach my father how to cook. He didn't even know how to boil water on the stove. So Sara knew why Mom was lingering on and not exiting. And so she promised my mother that she would personally make sure that Gary was fed. This was way before they even dreamed that they would get together. So it was a beautiful prophetic invocation for Gary and Sara. And they had this huge picture of Lucille on their TV, sort of just watching over them and blessing them. And I think that has a lot to do with the extraordinary blending of these families that we see here. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Timothy Grant. I am Sarah's son-in-law, and she was everything that you've all mentioned here tonight. Tonight. Feels like tonight already. I remain deeply grateful for the woman who took me in, which was her daughter, Sharon, my wife. But she took me in as a son as well. And, sorry. She's made a profound difference with, I think, everyone that she's met. Certainly in the greater community here, and definitely in this community, as Michael has said. Her love carried me through many difficult times. And it was my great joy to spend time with her near the end of her life, learning to play the bagpipe, because she and Mary Ann were my best audience. And I don't know if you ever heard somebody learning to play the bagpipe. If you have, you'll understand what that really means. She's a guiding light, along with my own mother, of course, but she passed away over 20 years ago. And Sara was my guiding light as well, until the day she passed. And I can only tell you that I can only hope to give as much love and support to all I meet in the community that I live in, as she did to me and so many others. I love her. I think that's as much as I can say, because otherwise I won't be able to keep breathing here. Thank you all.
Hi there. I'm going to do you the favor. I promise I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to play the bagpipes either. But I'm not here to tell a story about Sarah. I'm here to tell a story about you. And I thought this would be appropriate. I want to follow on my sister's comments. So I'm Matt West. My mom had the privilege of calling Sarah best friend for many, many years. And I have failed, or I should say I failed in the Stay in Touch contest with the family. And there were many times where I felt, boy, I need to do something about it. If my wife, good thing, is downstairs with the food, because she would be nodding right now. But here's what I want to share with you. My wife and I flew in yesterday not having any idea what to expect from any of you. And I think that what Sarah would most enjoy hearing is from someone who says, if you want to know what love looks like, that's what we felt yesterday, and that's what we feel today. There was a look on the faces of the family members that is hard to describe. But there's a smile, despite the grief. There was a sense of humor. There was a sense of gratitude, all of which I'm certain that Sarah's looking down and saying, that was my end game, is that they're going ahead and delivering on what I wanted them to do. So I'm here to tell you, you have gotten an A+ grade. Because my wife and I felt that, and we feel that today, and we're honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Eliza. I wasn't expecting to say anything today here at Sarah's, but you've all spoke about her as a family. Let me speak to you about what she's done for this community. I first met Sarah because she came to me and she asked me if I would find a place in Laconia for the Lakes Region childcare. And of course that happened at the Busy Corners, where we restored that for housing and everything else. She made a tremendous impact on childcare in our community for our workforce. And without her, I'm certain we wouldn't have what we have for families today. So, Sarah, I've always thanked you, and I thank your family for sharing you too, on behalf of the community.
Thank you.
Hello, family. My name is Sheila Connolly, and my family moved here in 1964 also. And when my mom and Sally met, they both changed their names. My mom was Madeline and became Molly, and Sally became Sarah. And the reason I think about this, and I never really put it together, it was some reinvention, sure, of themselves, but it was also strong women who really bridged generational gaps so that we could be strong women and leaders. And I went to that daycare center, and I drove cross-country with the two boys and Sarah. I also went to Northfield Mount Hermon, and the reason my parents felt okay about me going there is because Sarah and her family were there. So she was my mom away from home. She's been an important part of my life forever. And I'm so grateful to have had role models of these amazing people. And I'm also really grateful to have grown up in the Guilford bubble. Like, we had the best families. We got to do the outing club and Guilford Beach and skiing, and Penny was our coach at the outing club. You know, we were so lucky. And my parents were from away also. They came from Buffalo, you know, and my dad's first friend was Ann Heilshorn in kindergarten, and they ended up in Guilford. So I'm just grateful for our community, for this place and space in our lives. And I just love Sara to death. Oh, that was wrong, but I do. And I got to visit with her after Gary had died, and I would visit with her at least once a year. In the last visit, she said, "Could you bring your dog?" Because she really missed her dogs. And so I was surprised no one brought up all the dogs. She had so many black labs. She was a dog lover. So I brought my little black lab named Mookie, and it was a very happy, happy visit. And I am so grateful. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cameron Grant, the son of Sharon and Tim Grant. I didn't actually expect to speak today either. There are a lot of stories I could tell about my grandmother, but the one that stands out to me the most came when I was probably 4 years old, and we had just moved back from Saudi Arabia, and we lived with her. And like today, I got no sleep, and I would wake up first thing in the morning, and so would she. And at some point, pretty early on, she got the idea that she would read to me. And so she read The Hobbit to me. And we would just read a little bit every morning before everybody else got up. And every time that we read, I would say, "When are we getting to the dragon part? When are we getting to the dragon part?" I was so excited. And she would say, just wait, we'll get there. And eventually we did, and it was epic, and it was wonderful. And I guess what I got from it, maybe not so much then, but realized later, was two things: patience and a sense of magic in the world. And that's something that Grammy brought to literally everybody, I think. And so I'm just so thankful for that and for everyone here. Thank you.
And now we'll stand as we close the service singing hymn number 28, "For the Beauty of the Earth." we're going to close the service singing an Irish blessing. And if you want to, some of the family want to come forward to help us lead, because I'm not going to lead.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rains fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again someday, may God hold you in the palm of His hand, and the memories that we have shared linger on and on. Please join us downstairs. Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes. Yes, and on behalf of the family, thank you for your presence here today, and not only for your presence here today, but for all of the love and support you offered to them and to Sarah. And do please join us as we continue to celebrate Sarah's life downstairs.
Thank you, Michael.
Mhm.